This video is going to explain for you the meaning of cash budget, and we are going to solve some exercises about this topic. الفيديو ده هيوضح لنا يا ولاد معنى الكاش بادجت اللي هي الميزانية النقدية التقديرية، وهنحل بعض exercises على الكاش budget. What's the meaning of cash budget? Cash budget is a table that shows cash receipts, disbursement and balances over some period. What's the meaning of cash receipts? Cash receipts are the cash values that the company is expecting to receive, or in other words, cash in. And cash disbursement are the values of cash that the company is expecting to pay, or in other words, cash out. And the balances over some period of time, which is meant here, means at the end of each period, what are the values of cash the companies are expecting to have? Either it's cash deficit or cash surplus, in order to know how to deal with these values, because the cash budget deals with an estimated values, or the values in the cash budget are estimated, or values that the company is expecting to happen in the future. So the company, if the company have cash surplus, how it's going to invest this surplus, and if it's expecting to have cash deficit, how it's going to cover this deficit. The target cash balance is the minimum cash required by the company to have in order to be able to run or to conduct its business. يعني بمعنى آخر هو أقل حجم من النقدية لازم يكون متواجد في الشركة عشان تقدر انها تشتغل او تأوبريت البيزنس ده، تشغله وتمشيه. والكاش بادجت هي كل الفاليوز اللي موجودة فيها دي عبارة عن فاليوز تنبؤية متوقع انها تحصل في المستقبل، علشان في النهاية الشركة في نهاية كل فترة تقدر تعرف هي عندها فائض نقدي ولا عجز نقدي. لو هي عندها فائض نقدي هتستثمره في ايه، ولو هي عندها عجز اللي هو الديفيسيت هتغطيه ازاي، هتعمل ايه عشان تغطي العجز ده. طيب الاكسرسايز اللي قدامنا ده بيقول ايه؟ This exercise, General Enterprises had sales of $50,000 in March and $60,000 in April. Forecast sales, which means the expected sales starting from May, June and July, will be $70,000, $80,000 and $100,000 respectively. The firm has a balance of $5,000 on May 1st, which means that the beginning balance of cash at the beginning of May will be $5,000, and wishes to maintain a minimum cash balance of $5,000. The minimum cash balance here is the target balance, or the minimum cash required by the company, or the company must have each month, is $5,000. Given the following data, prepare and interpret a cash budget for the months May, June, and July. Number one, the firm makes 20% of the sales for cash, and 60% are collected in the next month, and the remaining 20% are collected in the second month following the sale, which means this number one is the policy of collecting sales of the company. 20% will be received in the same month of sale, and 60% will be received after 1 month later, or after 1 month from the sale, and the remaining 20% will be collected or received after 2 months from sale. يعني suppose that the sale happened in April, 20% will be collected in April, 60% in March, and 20% in May. يبقى أول حاجة خالص هي سياسة تحصيل المبيعات. أنا عندي 20% هيتحصلوا في نفس الشهر، 60% هيتحصلوا بعد المبيعات بشهر، و20% هيتحصلوا بعد المبيعات بشهرين. يبقى معنى كده number one is considered as a cash receipts or a cash disbursement. Of course cash receipts, because it's talking or interpreting the collection policy of the company for sales. Number two, the firm receives their income of $2,000 per month, which means that the company is going to receive $2,000 as an income cash each month, receives. which means number 1 and number 2 are considered as cash receipts or cash in. Number 3, the firm's actual or expected purchases are made for cash are $50,000, $70,000, and $80,000 for the months of May through July respectively, which means that the expected purchases will be 50, 70, and 80 starting from May to July. Rent is $3,000 per month. Rent means the company is going to pay rent $3,000 each month. Wages and salaries are 10% of the previous month's sales, which means that the wages and salaries the company is going to pay equal to 10% of the sales of the previous month. Cash dividends of $3,000 will be paid in June, which means the company in June only is going to pay $3,000 as a dividend will be paid for the shareholders. Payment of a principal and interest of $4,000 is due in June, which means the company have taken a loan which will be repaid, or its due date will be in June, so the company is going to repay the value of the loan plus the interest, which is considered as an expense over the loan. All of it equal to $4,000 will be paid in June only. Number 8, a cash purchase of equipment costing $6,000 is scheduled in July, which means that the company is going to purchase an equipment which will pay for it $6,000 in July. Number 9, taxes is $6,000 are due in June, which means that the time taxes will be paid on the company will be in June, $6,000, which means that this $6,000 will be paid in June only. Which means starting from number 3 till number 9, all of these are considered as cash disbursement or cash that is the company is going to pay or cash out. يبقى عندنا من رقم 3 لرقم 9 سواء ما بين إيجار، أجور، مرتبات، ضرائب، توزيعات، كل الحاجات دي الشركة هتدفعها أو مشتريات هتدفعها، يعني حاجات خارجة كاش خارج من الشركة مش داخلها. يبقى 1 و 2 هما cash receipts. From 3 till 9 are cash disbursements. I'm going to look for the solution. The solution shows me this table including March, April, May, June, and July. You're going to ask me why I put March and April and the required is to perform the cash budget for the months May, June, and July. The answer is that I'm going to use some of the values of the sales of March and April to be collected during May, June, and July. That's why I put here March and April. The first line is showing the values of the actual sales in March and April and the estimated sales in May, June, and July. The second line starts with the collection policy of the sales, which was in the additional data number 1 in the previous slide. The first thing that you are going to collect 20% of the sales during the same month, which means $70,000 the sales during May will be collected 20% of it during the same month, which means 14,000. 70,000 times 20% will give me 14,000, and 80,000 of June will be collected during the same month, 20% of it, which means 16,000, and $100,000 in July, 20% of the 100,000 will means $20,000. And then lag 1 month 0.6 is 60% of the sales that will be collected 1 month later or after 1 month or with a delay 1 month, which means 60% of the sales of April will be collected in May. That's why I write here 36,000, which is 0.6 or 60% times 60,000 will give me 36, and 60% of the sales of May will be collected in June. So 60% times 70,000 is going to give me 42,000, and 60% of the sales of June will be collected in July. 60% times 80 will give me 48, and the remaining 0.2 or 20% will be collected after 2 months or 2 months later, which means that the sales of March, 20% of the sales of March will be collected in May, and 20% of the sales of April will be collected in June, and 20% of the sales of May will be collected in July. So 20% times 50 equal 10,000, 20% times 60 equal 12,000, and so on. And here is 14,000 results of multiplying 20% times $70,000 the sales of May. يبقى أنا عندي هنا يا ولاد أول سطر خالص أنا حاطة فيه كل أرقام المبيعات اللي عندي في المسألة، سواء كانت حاجات حصلت اللي هي في مارش اند ابريل أو حاجات متوقعة تحصل في ماي وجون وجولاي. طب أنا ليه حاطة الاتنين دول مارش وابريل؟ عشان هستخدم أرقام منهم في ماي وجون وجولاي، لكن أنا اكتوالي اللي أنا مطالبة بيه إن أنا أعمل كاش بادجت للثلاث شهور دول، ماي وجون وجولاي. طيب هاجي أول حاجة سياسة التحصيل، 20% هيتحصلوا في نفس الشهر، فهلاقي إن 70,000 في 20% ب14,000، 80,000 ب20% ب16,000، 100,000 في 20% ب20,000. السطر اللي بعديه 60% لاج 1 مانث، يعني هيتحصلوا بعد شهر من دلوقتي، اللي هي موجودة في البيانات الإضافية نمبر 1 في السلايد اللي فاتت. فأنا هعمل ال 60,000 اللي في أبريل هحصل 60% منهم في ماي، والمبيعات بتاعت ماي هحصل 60% منهم في جون، يعني 70,000 في 60% ب42، 80,000 في 60% ب48. آخر حاجة خالص اللي هو lag 2 month اللي هو 0.2 اللي هي 20% after 2 months, which means the sales of March 20% of it will be collected in May. That's why I write here 10. عشان كده أنا كتبت هنا 10 اللي هي جت منين؟ 20% من 50,000 فادتني 10، 20% من 60,000 فادتني هنا 12 بعد شهرين، 20% من 70,000 عشان كده ادتني هنا 14. طيب السطر اللي بعديه اللي هو other income اللي هو it told you in the previous exercise in the previous slide that there is monthly income will be collected or received by the company equal to $2,000. Then the total cash receipts equal starting from the second line till the 2,000 اللي هي 14 plus 36 plus 10,000 plus 2 will give me 62. 16 plus 42 plus 12 plus 2 equals 72. The first line is not included in this summation because it's just an indication for the values of the sales, but the actual receipts for each month will start from the second line. And the third month, July, 20 plus 48 plus 14 plus 2 will give me 84. So the total cash receipts معناها مجموع التحصيلات أو المتحصلات النقدية اللي هبدأ من السطر الثاني، لأن اللي فوق ده قيم المبيعات مش قيم التحصيلات. فالتحصيل عندي من السطر الثاني من أول مثلا في ماي من أول 14 36 10 2 وهكذا في بقية الشهور. نيجي بعد كده the next line is disbursement. What's the meaning of disbursement? Means the values that I'm going to pay out. The first item in disbursement is purchases, which was given in the previous slide for months from May to July, 50, 70, 80. The rent, the monthly rent is 3,000. That's why I put 3,000 in each month. Wages and salaries equal to 10% of the previous month's sales. That's why here in May I put 6,000, which is equal to 10% of the 60,000 of the sales of the previous month of which is April. And here 7,000, 10% of the $70,000 the sales of May, and so on. يعني أنا عندي المتحصلات أو المدفوعات اللي هدفعها من أول المشتريات هو قايلها لي، الرنت هدفعه كل شهر عشان كده حاطط القيمة بتاعته في كل شهر. الويجز والسالاريز هي عبارة عن 10% من مبيعات الشهر السابق، فعشان كده خدت 10% من مبيعات إبريل حطيتها كويجز وسالاريز في ماي فبقت ب6,000 و7,000 و8,000. Dividends, which is the value I'm going to pay or the company is going to pay for the shareholders, which is equal to $3,000 in June only. The purchase of new equipment equal to 6,000 in July only also. The principal and interest of the loan is 4,000 in June only. That's why I put the values in the mentioned month. يعني if the exercise told me June, I will put it in June. If the exercise told me in July, I will put it in July only. The tax will be due in June, 6,000. Then I'm going to collect all the cash disbursements starting from the purchases, which is the 50,000 here in May, plus 3 plus 6 equal to 59. And here I'm going to collect starting from the purchases till the tax due in June, and so on. So the total cash disbursement will be 59, 93 and 97. يعني أنا ببتدي أجمع الحاجات الكاش اللي الشركة هتدفعها من أول اللاين بتاع البيرتشيزز في كل شهر، فبجمع القيم اللي موجودة في كل شهر. يبقى أنا عندي فوق upward in the table the total cash receipts and then the total cash disbursement, which means that the next step will be subtracting the disbursement from the receipts, cash in minus cash out. Here I'm going to recopy the lines. يعني I am going to recopy the total cash receipts and the total cash disbursement above each others, and then I'm going to subtract the 59 from the 62. It will give me positive 3,000, and 72 minus 93, it will give me negative, between brackets means negative value, because here the cash out, which is the 93 in June, is greater than the cash in, which is 72. And then I'm going to subtract the 84 minus 97. It will give me negative $13,000, which that's why I put it between bracket. يبقى أنا هنقلهم تاني، هنقل صف مجموع المتحصلات النقدية ومجموع المدفوعات وابتدي أخصمهم من بعض. ففي أول شهر هلاقي إن المتحصل أكتر فهيديني بوزيتيف 3. في جون هلاقي ان اللي داخل 72 واللي خارج 93، يبقى انا عندي بالنيجاتيف 21. وهنا يبقى انا في جولاي عندي 84 داخلين و97 خارجين، يبقى انا عندي نيجاتيف 13. النيجاتيف او اللي خارج عندي اكبر من اللي داخل. طيب يبقى انا عندي النت كاش فلو ب 3 نيجاتيف 21 and 13 respectively. Then the next step is to add the beginning cash balance, which was mentioned in the exercise in the previous slide. The beginning balance on May 1st was $5,000. So I'm going to write the beginning balance in May is $5,000, and I have already 3, which means the ending balance of cash will be $8,000. I'm going to repeat. The result of the net cash flow is $3,000 plus the beginning balance, which was mentioned or given in the exercise in the previous slide, $5,000 on May 1st or at the beginning of May, which means I have 3 plus 5 equal to 8. The ending of May will be the beginning of June, so I'm going to recopy the 8,000 here in at the beginning balance in June. In June I have negative 21 plus 8, which means the result will be negative 13. The negative 13 is the ending balance of June. It will be the beginning of July. So I am going to recopy it in July as a beginning balance as a negative 13. I have negative 13 and negative 13, which is equal to negative 26. تاني يا ولاد، أنا عندي صافي التدفق النقدي طلع 3 ونيجاتيف 21 ونيجاتيف 13. طب هو كان قايل لي إن البيجيننج بالانس اوف كاش في الإكسرسايز في السلايد اللي فاتت إن هو في أول ماي هيبقى 5. يبقى أنا عندي في أول شهر 3 زائد 5 اداني 8 كإندنج بالانس. إندنج بالانس بتاع شهر مايو هو البيجيننج 31 مايو هو رصيد 1 جون، فهنقل التمانية هنا، فيبقى عندي نيجاتيف 21 بلس 8 اداني نيجاتيف 13 كاندنج بالانس لجون، فبقت النيجاتيف 13 هي البيجيننج بالانس في جولاي، فبقت نيجاتيف 13 ونيجاتيف 13، يبقى انا عندي هنا نيجاتيف 26. طيب انا عندي كمان it was mentioned in the previous slide that the minimum cash balance or the target balance is $5,000. $5,000. So I'm going to write in each month $5,000. $5,000, $5,000. This is the minimum amount must be found in the company from cash. So I must subtract this $5,000 from the ending balance of each month, because I must keep those consider it as you are going to keep aside these $5,000 and then see what will be remaining. يعني اعتبر ان انت هتخصم الخمسة دول، لان دول لازم تشيلهم على جنب، دول لازم يبقوا موجودين في الشركة، مش هتستخدمهم في حاجة تانية في اي investment. فانا you have here as an ending balance 8,000 in 8,000 in May minus 5, it will be 3 as an excess cash balance or cash surplus. And here you have the 5, you have negative 13 as an ending balance. Negative 13 minus 5 will be 18, which is considered as required total financing, or in other words, cash deficit. And then you have in July negative 26 minus $5,000 will give me 31 or negative 31, which is also considered as a cash deficit in July or a required total financing. This means that the company will have cash surplus in May equal to 3,000 and cash deficit in June and July equal to 18,000 and 31,000 respectively. يبقى أنا عندي هنا التمانية اللي هم الاندنج بالانس في ماي، الاندنج بالانس اوف ماي طرحت منهم الخمسه بقوا 3، وهنا كان عندي نيجاتيف 13 في جون وشلت، وكمان في نيجاتيف 5 المفروض اشيلهم على جنب، يبقى انا عندي نيجاتيف 18. يبقى الثلاثه دول فائض، لكن ال 18 دول عجز. وهنا النيجاتيف 26 ونيجاتيف 5 يبقى دي نيجاتيف 31 او 31 as a ديفيسيت. يبقى الشركة كمان عندها عجز في ايه؟ في جولاي. يبقى كده الاكسرسايز ده عندنا يا ولاد خلص خلاص. This exercise is similar to the previous one with some little differences. ABC sales in August. ABC Corporate is developing a cash budget for October, November and December, which means you are going to prepare the cash budget for October, November and December. ABC's sales in August and September were 200,000, 400,000 respectively. And then the exercise showed to you the expected sales for October, November and December, 800, 600 and 400,000 have been forecasted for those months respectively. Historically, 20% of the firm sales have been for cash, 50% have generated accounts receivable after 1 month, and the remaining 30,000 are generated accounts receivable after 2 months, which is exactly the same like the previous exercise. 20% policy of collection, 20% will be collected during the same month, 50 after 1 month, and the remaining 30 after 2 months. In December, the firm will receive 60,000 dividends from stock in a subsidiary, which means here the dividends are considered from the point of view of the company as an income. So it's under cash receipts will be $60,000 in December, which will be written in December only. But the corporate purchases 70% of the sales of this amount, which means that 70%, for example, of the sales of October will be considered as the value of purchases in the same month. Of this amount, 20% is paid in cash, 60% is paid in 1 month immediately following the month of purchases, and the remaining 20% is paid in 2 months following, which means, for example here, 800,000. 70% of the 800,000 equal to 560,000 will be the value of purchases. 20% will be paid during the same month, which is October. 60% will be paid in November, and the remaining 20% will be paid in December. Then the wages and salaries. Fixed salary cost for the year is $96,000 for the whole year, or $8,000 per month. So don't be confused. You are going to use the value of 8,000, put it in each month. In addition, wages are estimated as 10% of monthly sales. So I'm going to multiply 10% by the sales of the month and write it as the value of wages. Taxes, 25%, must be in December. So the value of 25% will be written in December. Fixed asset outlays, new machinery costing, which means the value of a machine you are going to pay is 130,000, will be purchased and paid in November. So the value of 130 will be written in November. An interest payment of 35,000 is due in December. So here the interest will be written in December. Cash dividends of 25,000 will be paid in October. So I have here two dividends. One will be received, which will be in December, 60,000, and one will be paid in October, which is 25,000. A $40,000 principal payment loan is due in December, and the value 40,000 will be written in December, and then the remaining of the steps be exactly the same like the previous exercise. I just explained for you how to use these numbers. The last exercise in the slide is considered as an assignment for you. It's exactly can be solved like the previous examples, but with much different details. So if you have any questions, you can send for me on the e-learning. Thank you.